Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the official Aston Villa Podcast. My name is Tracey. Joining me as ever, former villain Alan McInally. How are you?
Good, Kate. Really good. Yeah, we're looking forward to obviously another podcast and see a few stories about Aston Villa.
Yes, this time with James Chester. You're really going to enjoy this one. So here he is, James Chester. So, of course, you signed for Aston Villa. I mean, again, how did that come about? How did that move again? We have touched upon it briefly, but just to reiterate.
So this time around, I knew I wanted to leave West Brom because I'd not particularly played. And Tony Pulis.
And not in ideal positions either.
No, I think I only played one game at centre half. A lot of right back and a lot of left back. But Tony Pulis was the manager at the time, and he was really good with me when it came to leaving. He had no issues with me and helped me to leave the football club. So I knew I was going to be leaving, but again, I didn't know as to where. And I remember I think I was in Manchester having a coffee, and my agent rang me and said, Villa are interested. Robbie's gonna ring you. And I had to go and find a quiet space somewhere in the coffee shop to answer my phone.
Compose yourself or whatever.
Yeah, and he called me Jamie on the phone actually, and I had to leave it, and I didn't correct him.
Don't correct him.
I didn't correct him for the foreseeable future while he was here either. So I was Jamie Chester for the first 10 games of the season.
Oh God.
But yeah, once the offer was accepted and I came down and seen the training ground and put the kit on for the photo shoot, I knew it was a good choice to make.
And where was Villa when you kind of went in then for that day? How did it feel at that point? Because they were just relegated at that point. And so how was the whole feel around the place?
Looking back, I think it was probably a bit strange, to be honest. I was full of confidence coming from the back of the Euro, so I don't think I fully noticed it, but there was probably a squad of 30, 35 players with new signings coming in and players who'd been there from the season previous who perhaps were leaving, or players who didn't want to leave but weren't particularly playing. So there was a huge squad, and training was carnage for a time, and we didn't start well at all. But I think the confidence that I had from the Euros, and I wasn't living in Birmingham at the time because I'd let the Lee Summer flat run out while I was at West Brom, because I knew I'd be leaving. So I was travelling back and to from the northwest, which I think, in hindsight, probably did me a favour, because obviously playing for the club, I started to realise how big it was. But I was away from it all when the results weren't gone particularly great, so I could switch off. And
the season prior, you had reached the playoff final, but failed to gain promotion. What does that do to you all mentally? Does it make you more determined, or do you just kind of think, oh God, it was so close, and again that deflating feeling?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly in the Championship, with how difficult and relentless it is to miss out on going up on the biggest game in club football to get a team promoted is deflating, because you've got to go through all that again to have the opportunity to reach promotion. I had no option but to get over it pretty quickly, because I got married the day after.
Oh, okay. You've got to change your emotions. Yeah. That was a brave call to have that the next day to set the date.
I'd noticed around January that there was a strong possibility that we might reach the playoff final, so we had to move everything back a day.
So it actually was meant to be on that day. Yeah. Oh God.
So I suppose I was lucky in a way that I had the hindsight to look that far forward, but I think it did actually help me, being completely honest, to get over losing the game, because I had no option but to be happy and celebrate my wedding day.
Hopefully invited a lot of the team at least as well.
Do you know what? I didn't at the time.
Oh.
I don't think anyone actually. No, that'd be a lie. Neil Taylor came. But weddings are funny, really, because I think if I was to get married now, I'd probably have half the squad that I played with at Villa there, because the relationships and the bonds that I think achieving things makes. There's still a lot of the lads that I speak to now from those seasons. And probably people.
If you got promotion in next year, the missus will say it's because you had the best life the best year.
Yes,
Much
exactly.
better. The best
she has to worry
preparation.
about that.
What changed since the last time? I tell you what changed. Yeah. So then, so after your high of that day, then of course you have your bit of time off. You're back into it for next season again, and of course you win promotion then the following season. How was that whole campaign? Did it all go in the right direction at that point? Or did you have highs
not
and
particularly.
lows? No.
So I think the start of that season would have been the season the club got taken over by the current owners now because there's some difficulty at the start of that season. I think I was actually close to leaving at the start of that season because of the
comings and goings
financial
off of the pitch, yeah.
problems, which I didn't want to do. So
You didn't want to?
I didn't want to leave, no.
No.
So when the club got taken over, I was really, really pleased because I wanted to stay in.
And why was that? Was it because you thought, okay, they're going to get promotion next year, or were you just enjoying
because
yourself?
by that time I was enamoured with the football club and the relationship I built up with the fans, and I came here to get the club promoted, and I wanted to do that. But I don't think that season was particularly plain sailing. I think Steve got sacked around October, November time, I think, possibly.
How was the mood in camp at that point?
I took it personally for responsibility for that, if that's the right word, because I played for Steve at Hull, and I played a lot of football for him, Aston Villa as well. So you obviously build up, those relationships. So I was disappointed to see Steve go. I think actually, no, I did give a penalty away and got sent off in the game that he.
But it wasn't your fault.
He got the sack
No.
after.
Was it? After that game?
Yeah. So
nice.
That was perhaps why I felt such a responsibility.
We can edit that
Responsibility
out.
there,
We can
Felt
definitely edit that
responsibility.
out. But having said
that
that, I mean, how many times have we played football matches or season campaign that everything goes your way? It just ain't. Unless you have a purple patch. We win 6 in the bounce. 2 of them have been away games, have been fantastic. And then you're heavy favourites to win the next game and you get battered 2-0 and you're like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the tale of the Championship as well.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And I think that's probably what everyone involved with this football club probably struggled to deal when the first couple of seasons, just how difficult it is of a division to get out of. I think by certainly the end of the second season and the third season, we started to get a grip of we're not going to win every game, and we had to bounce back quickly from a negative result. And then
did you notice when you signed here then, and again, this is the greatest respect to the clubs you'd been at, do you not think you play with a bigger target on your back being a football player with Aston Villa?
Oh yeah.
Because I've told people, I said, if you play with a big club, you can't lose at the training on a Friday afternoon or a Tuesday. You can't get beaten a Saturday and you can't get beaten a Sunday because you play with a target on your back because everybody wants to beat you.
Yeah. It's certainly in the Championship, that was how it felt. Everyone certainly enjoyed a result against Villa than they would do against anyone else. And I think, the demand of the supporters here was a lot higher than clubs I played at prior. So if you lost the game, it did feel like it was the end of the world. And not all things like that take a while to deal with. Like I mentioned before, I think it helped me not being based in Birmingham when I first signed, because we didn't start particularly well, and I was a little bit oblivious to the uproar as to what was going on. And then I think Robbie got the sack after 10 games, so it wasn't a particularly good start to proceedings. But I think it does take some getting used to. I think once we did that, I found it the best football club that I played for by a country mile.
Brilliant.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. Alan and I will be back very soon on the official Aston Villa podcast.
Villa Podcast.